Hari Om. Those of you who are here, please shift this side because to see like this is a little difficult. So if you can come onto this side, shift your chairs on this side, become easier. You can come in the front rows, yeah. बंद कर दो. This is visible clearly? Yes. Okay, chalo. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Mande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Salutations to all. Somebody's phone is continuously beeping. Put it off, please. Okay. So, we saw the loss of the knower and the known. Book को खोले बिना बताओ. First law. Simplest है वो तो. Knower is different from the known. Second law. Can you please help him? Knower is one, known are many. Then? That is not third law. Knower is sentient, known is inert. Fourth. Knower and known are not one and the same at the same time. Fifth. Knower is not affected by the qualities of the known. Sixth. Knower is changeless, known is changing. So now, having understood this, how many knowers are there? Is only one. The known is many, knower is only one. Which is why the third verse says, Yak kshetra kshetragnayor jnanam etad jnanam matam mama. Then, where Bhagavan said that sarva kshetreshu bharata, in all the known, knower is only one. See, please remember, when we are saying knower here, it means the ultimate knower. Not the other levels of knowers. The ultimate knower is only one. And he said the knowledge of this is the true knowledge. The knowledge of kshetra, which is the known, and the kshetragnya, which is the knower. Field and the knower of the field. So, know that to be the main knowledge. Now, he is going to explain what is the kshetra. Kshetra, kshetragnayor jnanam, right? So, first kshetra will be described now. Fourth verse. Tat kshetram yaccha yadrikcha yad. On the group you are able to write or not? On the Gita group. Chapter 13 group is admin only or you can write? No. It's admin only. Okay. Different link or same link? Same link, right? Ah. Same link, no? Bas. So we were saying that the essence of the four Vedas is this knowledge of the knower. And why the knowledge of the known is required? The knowledge of the known is required only to be able to segregate. This is the known and the knower is different. Whatever is changing is the known. So if you see this shloka earlier one, fourth one, Tat kshetram yad vikari. If you take that much also, that is called kshetra, which is changing. So anything that is changing is called known. Simple. Now everything else, everything in this world except consciousness is changing. So it is all the known. There is no difference. Only in the degree of subtlety there is a difference. Something is gross, something is subtle. But anything which is changing is perishable. It is the field of known. That is not me. So I have to detach from it. Then I come to the real knower, who is consciousness. You negate everything which is changing, only the changeless will remain. So that is what the Veda is meant for. Veda is not meant for going to heaven. One can go to heaven using the rituals given there. One can attain wealth, one can attain progeny, one can attain prosperity, one can do so many things. But that's not the main purpose. What is the main purpose? Chandobhir vividhai prithak. All the four Vedas are indicating this one supreme consciousness as the truth. Now that has to be known. And this knowledge is considered the foremost of all the knowledges. We have seen earlier also, 9th chapter, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. Jnananam Jnana. So this knowledge has to be known. And this is the knowledge which the third line says, Brahma Sutra Padais Chaiva, the mantras of Upanishads. Upanishad is Vedanta, the last portion of the Veda. The subtlest knowledge is the Upanishadic knowledge. What are they indicating? They are not indicating go to heaven, go to Swargaloka, go to Brahmaloka, go to Vaikuntha. What are they indicating? That you are this infinite consciousness, know that. And so he says, with logic, with firm conviction, this is what is to be known, is to be understood. Now having said this, the field or the known is now described. So verse 6 and 7 together will tell us 24 aspects of the known, which are also called as the 24 tattvas in Sankhya. Mahabhutanyahangkaraha buddhiravyaktamevacha indriyani dashaikam cha panchachendriya gocharaha ichha dvesha sukham dukkham Sanghataschetana dhritihi etat kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. So what was said? Yat What is the kshetra, what is its nature and what is its modification, from where it is born and what will it give rise to. All those are answered one shot in these two verses. So, first line in this sixth shloka is Mahabhutani. These are 5 great elements. Now, 5 great elements means what here? Space, air, fire, water, earth, in their pure nature, tan matra. They are the 5 subtle elements. So that is Mahabhutani. Then is Ahankaraha. Now we should remember this Ahankara, when it is said here, this is the totality, the total Ahankar, the Samashti Ahankar. Mahabhutani Ahankaraha. Then Buddhihi is again the total intellect, Mahat Tattva, Buddhi. And then Avyaktam, that is the primordial Prakriti or Maya, whatever we call it. So from infinite consciousness, the power of infinite consciousness is Mula Prakriti or Maya or this Avyaktam. That is the unmanifest. From there, the total Buddhi, the cosmic intellect, Hiranyagarbha you call, Mahat you call, that will be born. Then the cosmic ego, that I, the so and so, the totality, the Ishvara, that. And 5 elements which are Tanmatras. These are called 8 aspects. This is Ashtadha Prakriti. That had come even in 7th chapter. Lower Prakriti also it is called. So Mahabhutani 5, then Ahankara, Buddhi and Avyakta. Totally 8. This is Ashtadha Prakriti. Now, further grossification is Indriyani Dashaikam, is 10 senses. Seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, touching, all that. In this context, Indriya also includes the Golaka, the organ. So this is the sense faculties. 5 of action, 5 of knowledge. And Ekam means mind. This is the individual mind. So first line is Samashti, second line is Vyashti. Indriyani Dasha Ekam. Why is the mind called Indriyani? Senses, we know 5 senses of knowledge, 5 senses of action. So they totally become 10. Why is the mind called sense? The 11th one is the mind. So Indriyani, one meaning of Indriya, Indra literally means idam drashta. The knower of this is called Indra. The mind is the knower of all the 10 sense perceptions, which collects it together. So the mind is called internal sense organ. Antarindriya is this, and these other 10 are called Bahirindriyas. External sense and the internal sense. Totally they become 11. These 11 is what we must engage in contemplation of Bhagavan when we do Upvas. And withdraw their indulgence from the world outside. That is called Ekadashi Vrat. But instead of withdrawing, what do? Indulge more. Do you know actually Ekadashi Vrat is how many days and how it has to be done? It's very amazing. Not only 3 days, 3 days it is. On Dashami, I have to eat only once. Then Dashami evening onwards, whatever, depending on the Tithi and all that, Dashami evening I have to worship Bhagavan. Then Ekadashi morning, again I have to worship Bhagavan and take a Sankalpa. Ekadashi actually is a preparation to worship Bhagavan on Dwadashi. So that day you do Upvas. one should ideally not eat anything that day, only water. If one has to eat one time, that also only fruits and milk. Shastra does not mention anything about Rajagre ka puri, Shingade ka lok ka atta, and samosa, and kheer, sabu, makhana ka kheer, nothing. Shastra says if you have to eat, you eat fruit and milk. Otherwise you drink only water. And you chant Bhagwan's name. And you do Jagaran on Ekadashi night, remembering Bhagwan. Then 12th morning, you break the fast after worshipping Bhagwan. After taking bath, you worship Bhagwan. And 12th also, you eat only once in a day. And on Ekadashi Tithi, to no salt at all. If at all you are eating anything cooked, then no salt. No rice to 100%, rice to out. अब ये एकादशी का व्रत होता है. एंड वंस इन 15 days दिस हैज़ टू बी डन. मतलब 15 दिन में 3 दिन तो उपवास के ही निकल गए, 12 दिन ही बचे. बट वी स्टार्ट प्लानिंग 5 meals of Ekadashi, what will I have? Which smoothie and which this and which that. This Indriyani Dashaikam cha, when he says, it is that 11 things. If I want to know the knower, I have to withdraw from the known. And the known that I am identified right now with are these. If you remove these 10 senses and one mind, other parts of the body I am not that identified with. I won't even know. So these are the 11. If one has to know the knower, one has to have control on these known, these faculties. So Indriyani Dashaikamcha. Panchacha Indriya Gocharaha. And 5 are the sense objects. What are the sense objects? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. The Shabda is sound. Sparsha, touch. Rupa, form. Rasa, taste. Gandha. This is also in order of subtlety. Space, air, fire, water, earth. Kham, Vayu, Agni, Apa and Prithvi. Kham, Vayu, Jyotirapa, Prithvi, Vishwasya Dharini, Upanishad says, Vaivulya Upanishad. In the sequence of 5 elements which are created. In that same sequence, the sense objects also are there. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. That Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha indicate the gross 5 elements. So now, these are the equipments. First the Samashti was told, Mahabhutani Ahankara, Manaha and Buddhi. Buddhi and Avyakta, sorry. Then 11, so 10 senses of knowledge and action plus 1 mind plus 5. तो total बनाओ कितना हो गया? नीचे 16, ऊपर 8. Total 24. These are 24 tattvas. Now this 6th shloka is telling us about the 24 tattvas. So what is, so you see that earlier shloka, Yaccha. So what is known? These 24 are known. Then Yadrik, what is its nature? The nature of each of these now, one knows. Okay, what is the nature of Indriyani? So 5 senses of knowledge. Through that I gain the knowledge. 5 senses of action. It is interesting, na? 5 senses of knowledge, they are called Jnana Indriyas. They are not called Bhoga Indriyas. But we have made Jnana Indriya into Bhoga Indriya. भगवान ने किसके लिए हमको क्या दिया, उसको हमने किसके लिए उसका उपयोग किया. खाओ पियो मौज करो. Indriyas are not given for that actually. Indriyas are given to serve. Indriyas are given to do sadhana, to see Bhagwan everywhere. They are jnana, they will give us knowledge. And interesting thing is, they are supposed to give us knowledge of what? Not just this world. Who is the knower, who is hiding through this known? That knowledge I need to gain. Obviously that cannot be grasped by the senses, no doubt. But the vision can be there. That how are the eyes, ears able to hear, how is the tongue able to He started asking that question. What is that which makes the eye see, the mind think, pranas function? So he used the indriyas to know the enlivening factor behind the indriyas. So now, yad and yadrik. Yad vikari. Now the vikaras of these, especially the subtle ones, are said in the seventh one. So the seventh one also tells us about these qualities now. These are subtler qualities. Now, what those 24 tattvas are in Sankhya, they are not the knower, they are the known. Now these qualities which are given now in the 7th shloka, they are all qualities which are again of the known, not of the knower. But the Vaisheshikas and Tarkikas, they will say, these are gunas of the Atma. Atma gunas they will call. Atma का कोई गुण नहीं होता है. Supreme consciousness doesn't have any gunas, because anything that has guna is vikari, it is perishable. 3 gunas will be there, sattva, rajas and tamas, mainly 3 gunas. Here the word guna also means qualities. So Vaisheshikas and Tarkikas will say these are qualities of the Atma. They are not qualities of the Atma. If you want to say they are qualities, if you can say, of the Jivatma, which is the Mr. So-and-so, the ego, not of the infinite consciousness. So Ichha, what is Ichha? Desire. Desire means, what is a desire? Desire is not vasana. Vasana manifests as desire. What is a desire? That is an expression. If you like somebody, that's a synonym. Nature, I am asking, what is the meaning of desire? What does it indicate? Unquenchable thirst. Extrovertedness. So desire is a sense of incompleteness, which will then express as per my tendencies, my vasanas. So I will feel that if I eat this, I will be happy. So I have a desire for that. If I go there, I will be happy. If I watch this movie, I will be happy. If I sleep, I will be happy. If I attend satsang, I will be happy. All that. So one aspect is it is sense of incompleteness. Second is it is a scheme for happiness in future. Because of that incompleteness, it is a scheme for happiness in future. In the present, there is no desire possible. Think about it. Why? It's always about what I don't have. And in time I will get it. Then I will become happy. So it's a scheme for happiness, which our mind schemes. Not that happiness is there. Our mind schemes. Mumbai aake vada pav khao. Vada pav has happiness. You ask the nutritionist, he say, अरे रे 500 कैलोरी है भाई, क्यों खा रहे हो उसको? दस किलोमीटर चलना पड़ेगा इसको बर्न करने के लिए. Now the mind is imagining, and it is a scheme for happiness. So it's a vikara. The point is all this is vikara, yad vikari. Na? So desire is a vikara. However sattvic desire may be, it is still a vikara, changing. And that is what happens or not. One may have great desire, ki I will come to satsang, I will come to satsang, I will come to satsang, and just 1 hour before satsang one will say, no, I don't want to go. मैं ऑनलाइन सुन लूँगा. What happened? Desire changed. भगवान तो सब जगह है, मंदिर जाने की क्या आवश्यकता है? I am not going. You are closest to Brahman in sleep. So why wake up? Keep sleeping. Mind will go on creating some or the other change. You may put an alarm and say, tomorrow morning I have to wake up and I have to go for a jog and no matter what happens, I will do it. Oh, pura dhrud sankalp. And morning when the alarm wakes, you get up. It is very wicked, this alarm bells now, especially in this phone. There are two buttons. Snooze is on top and stop is below. The button which is highlighted is snooze. Kamal hai yaar, you should highlight stop button, na? Why have you highlighted snooze button? At least in Apple iPhone, that's what happens. If you know how to change from snooze to stop, you tell me, okay? I think there should be some control ki not to have snooze. Hoga kahin na kahin, I have not explored it, but vikar, this is all vikar. Mind goes on changing. So ichha is one vikar. Then dvesha. Dvesha means, I was reading Shankaracharya's commentary today. In that the translation of dvesha I read first time. Maybe that word exists, but I didn't know. I read that word first time today. Antipathy. I said dvesha, antipathy hai, P-A-T-H-Y, pati nahi hai. But कुछ लोगों को पति के साथ द्वेष हो ही जाता है. So antipathy is dvesha. It is P-A-T-H-Y, antipathy. Like allopathy hai na, वैसा. Antipathy. Till now I used to say, raga and dvesh, right? So attachment and aversion. Today I learnt a new word. I said antipathy. Wow, kya word hai? Antipathy, dvesh. Possible, हाँ. Empathy का opposite antipathy, पता है. So dvesha means I don't like something, dislike, hatred, aversion, avoid. So ichha, dvesha. So ichha can also lead to dvesha, where I desired something at some point and then I have dvesha towards that. That itself is a vikar. It happens or not? We feel, अरे ये चाहिए, वो आ जाता है, उसके बाद से अच्छा है, ये क्या है? One becomes so fed up with that. So ichha, dvesha, one builds up, I will go here, I will go there, this plan, that plan, everything one builds. Then one lands up there, पूरा anti-climax हो जाता है. अरे क्या है ये जगह? In Instagram they have these reels, na? Where they show that what is expected and what is the reality. They show. Expectation होगा कि केदारनाथ जाएंगे, it will be so nice, Har Har Mahadev, and we will see all this, mountains on the way and the Mandakini flowing but the reality is what? वहाँ घोड़े गधे खच्चर सब ऊपर नीचे चल रहे. They are putting horse dung everywhere. It is smelling like anything. जगह जाने की है नहीं वहाँ पे. इतना भीड़ हो गया है वहाँ पे. सारे कहाँ आ गए? महादेव क्यों ऊपर जाके बैठे हो? There's one reel like that going around, where Mahadev and Parvati are laughing. That it ends like that. So this fellow is going, different things about Mahadev they show in that, and then Mahadev is laughing in that at the end. क्योंकि this devotee is saying, अरे आपको वही जगह मिली थी क्या जाकर रहने के लिए? कोई नीचे नहीं रह सकते, क्यों पहाड़ पे जाकर बैठे हो? हमको आने के लिए इतनी तकलीफ हो रही है. So one builds so many thoughts in the mind, desire will be there. Then vikara, it will suddenly switch to dvesha. So ichha, dvesha, then sukham. If the desire is fulfilled, then what happens? One feels temporary pleasure, ki sukham. Desire got fulfilled, I feel so happy. Then dukkham, ulta. If the desire got fulfilled, then very happy. If the desire didn't get fulfilled, miserable. Ichha, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, sanghataha. Now sanghata here means a very nice word, sanghata is. Sanghata word actually means a compilation. And body is called sanghata. And you know why body is called sanghata? Because the sutra is sanghatasya pararthatvat. Anything which has been compiled together is not for itself, it is for somebody else or something else. Meaning what? Suppose now this mic is there. So this mic is here, this stand is here, and this iron rod is here, this is here. All this has been compiled together. Is it for itself or is it for someone else? It is for use of someone else. Same way, this body is a sanghata of 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. And it is meant for what? It is meant for the user to do sadhana. It is a sanghata, it is a tool. It is not I. So sanghatasya pararthatvat. It is meant for someone else who is using it. But instead of we thinking that this is my tool for me to use, what we are saying? I am this. And who am I? I don't know. So Bhagavan says, no, sanghata, this body is a sanghata. And that body will include the senses also, sense organs. So that is also vikara. Body keeps on changing or not. Earlier people said every 7 years we have a completely new body. Means every single cell in the body is changed. But now they have some different way of calculating. इतने साल में पूरे बाल चेंज हो जाते हैं, इतने साल में पूरी स्किन चेंज हो जाती है, इतने साल में पूरे whatever the stomach is changed or the lung is changed and all that, they have some different way of calculation. But the point is, it is continuously changing. Before the body was born, who was I? That is one form of meditation in Zen. They will ask you to meditate. Imagine your face before you were born. अब किसी को अगर वो एक्सरसाइज समझ में नहीं आया, what will they start thinking? Was I a goat? Was I a lion? Was I a human? Was I a man? Was I a devata? Who was I? Arey, we are not asking you to find out what was your earlier birth. That exercise is meant to tell us that you did not come into existence because of this body. You were existing before. Then you took up a body. Then you will go through it, and one day it becomes decayed, it will die. Who are you? So sanghata is that. It's a compilation. And how many changes this body has gone through. Chetana. Here Chetana does not mean consciousness. Here Chetana means intelligence. Every single cell in the body also has intelligence. Why? Because there is consciousness reflecting in that through the subtle body. So there is life in it, intelligence. The moment that subtle body ejects out of it, this will become dead. So that intelligence which is there in the body, in the senses, in the mind, that intelligence, that also is changing. Then dhritihi. So the word dhriti includes all the modifications of the antakarana. Dhriti is perseverance, fortitude, but includes all these, modesty, hrihi, dhihi, that is buddhi, and then sankalpa, which is willpower, sandeha, doubt, shraddha, faith, bhi, fear, all these. And any modifications of the mind, emotions, thoughts, all those are called what? Etat kshetram samasena. Bhagavan says, this is in brief I have told you. Each one can elaborate a lot. Body one can elaborate, saptadhatu, panchakosha, all that one can elaborate. Ichha, how many types of ichha? Naisargik ichha. Naisargik ichha means inborn desire. And then cultivated desire. Inborn desires are same for all of us. What are they? Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to be ignorant. And nobody wants to be miserable. They are called Naisargik ichha, inborn desire. Basic 3. There are some 2-3 more you can add if you want to. But basic 3. Cultivated desire are different for each one. Somebody wants to be doctor, somebody engineer, somebody teacher, somebody actor, somebody wants enjoyment, food, this, that. All desires different. So each of these can be elaborated. But Bhagavan says samasena. In brief, I have told you, this entire thing is the field which is known, and which means that none of these are the knower or attached to the knower. They are not qualities of the knower. They are not qualities of consciousness at all. Etat kshetram samasena. Savikaram. They are full of change. Savikaram. Udahritam. So this has been now explained. Now, having explained this, before he goes to Kshetrajna, the knowledge of the Kshetrajna, Bhagavan now from verse number 8 to 12 will give 20 values which he calls as Jnanam. See, earlier already he called that the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna is called Jnanam. Now at the end of this, in the 12th verse, he will say that Etad Jnanam. This is Jnanam. All these 20 values, who has, that person is knowledgeable. But Etad Jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yadatonyatha. But what we have to understand here is these are all preparations for knowledge. These are 20 fantastic values. Especially if I am walking the Jnana Marg, if I cultivate these 20 values, then I am ready for contemplation on the self. If you say that, I am a meditator, I will worship the formless truth. 12th chapter spoke about form and how to worship the form and all that. And there the question was of the formless also. So that formless is indicated here in the 13th chapter. And that will come now. After this description is over, all the pointers of formless will come now. How will we contemplate on that formless? If these 20 values I don't have properly, then I can't contemplate on the formless. And so he calls these preparations for knowledge also as knowledge only. But these are means to gain that ultimate knowledge. These 5 verses, Gurudev is to tell us memorize. In Gita we have different sets, like Sthita Prajna Lakshan, you can memorize. Then what happens? Every day if I chant this, then my goal of life and the means to achieve becomes clear. Like that, Bhakta Lakshan, one can memorize. Then one will internalize those qualities of a Bhakta. 12th chapter we saw. Verses 13 to 19, those verses. In this 13th chapter, it is this, verse number 8 to 12. Memorize these 8 to 12. And these are very nice to even teach children. We have had enough, even youngsters, anybody, elders, anybody can follow this. Basic values, irrespective of any caste, community, creed, gender, nationality, anybody can practice these basic values. These will make us humane also, and this will help us to realize the divine also. And if one says, हाँ ये तो ठीक है, ये तो पढ़ा हुआ है, उसमें क्या बड़ी बात है, it is not for reading, this is for living. That how deeply am I able to live these qualities if I want that knowledge. Don't ask that question ki in this world how can I be successful with all this. You can be successful, but the focus of the Gita is not to give you success in the world. It is to get me to realize the knower. Depending on Yuga Dharma, etc., some values may be difficult to live at certain times or easier to live at certain times. There is no doubt in that. And sometimes one may feel also, ki, are these even practical in today's world? But it is up to us how much we will be able to live, what is my purpose, why I want to live, and how it will make my life, my mind strong. These values are all qualities of strength. Anybody who has these values is a very strong person. And I would say this is actually the solution for so many of the mental health challenges that people go through today. Just these 5 verses, verse 8 to 12. If one can remember these and live these, how many challenges one is going through will all get simplified. But if we ignore all these, neither I will be able to have a strong mental health, spiritual knowledge, to forget it. Impossible it is. So now let us see. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham स्थैर्यम आत्मविनिग्रहः. So 9 qualities are given in this one. Amanitvam is humility. Literally it is lack of pride. Humility. Amanitvam. Adambhitvam, no ostentatiousness. What is the meaning of ostentatiousness? कैसा bombastic, इतना लंबा word है, ostentatiousness. Showing off, meaning show what you are, not exaggerate and show some false image, none of that. So, amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, non-violence, kshanti, forgiveness, arjavam, straightforwardness. Then, acharyopasanam, serve the teacher. Acharyopasanam, shaucham, purity. Then, sthiryam, steadiness. And then, atma vinigraha, self-control. 9 qualities in the first one. So now, you will see here, various things we will take up here. These are 20 values which make us fit for self-knowledge and prepare a student and intensify the contemplation. When people ask, my mind is wandering, or I feel drowsy, I feel sleepy, or I don't feel interested when I sit for japa or contemplation, these 20 values, somewhere something will be missing. One has to identify where, what is going wrong, then this is the solution. And if one knows what these words indicate, then one will find solution. Otherwise one will say, Swamiji, sab dhoond liya 20 value. I don't think my problem answer is in this. I'll give you one simple example. Some people don't sleep at all or don't sleep properly. Then they want to meditate. Then what will happen? The body maintains a debt, sleep debt. Then the person, when he is trying to meditate, what will the body do? Sleep. Or the mind will rebel. उसका solution यहाँ पे कहाँ पर है? In this shloka, where is the solution for this? Kshanti is forgiveness. Atma vinigraha. I don't have control only. Self-control only is not there. Then what will happen? Socho. So like that, one has to find, अच्छा ये इसका answer यहाँ पर है ये. Some places it will be obvious, some places it will not be obvious. Somebody doesn't eat properly, somebody doesn't sleep properly, somebody goes on working. So the mind is not at rest. Somebody has so much of hatred and anger in their heart, they can't forgive other people. So whenever they sit to meditate, they are meditating on their enemy. शुरू होता है भगवान के मेडिटेशन से, एंड होता है एनिमी के मेडिटेशन से. Why? Because dvesha is there. So Kshanti is the solution. So these are all very powerful values for that. So at highest level, these are knowledge, Krishna Bhagavan says. Because if these values come, straight away one will realize the knower. So now this is the first one we saw. In that the first value is amanitvam. Ma means to measure. So mana means to measure something properly. You know that weight when we have 1 kilo, 5 kilos, 100 grams, 500 grams, that is weight. Measuring. Like that, we measure ourselves. Right? How do we measure ourselves? Physically we say, this is my height, this is my weight and all that. But otherwise, we are measuring ourselves by comparing, and then we say, I have these qualities, I am so powerful, I am so wealthy. So I may measure my self-esteem through wealth, through power, through fame, through success, through achievement, through marks, through promotion. And then I have a certain pride about it. That is called mana. Amana means what? who doesn't have a pride of these things. Doesn't mean that person is not confident. The person doesn't define one's self-esteem through these. One doesn't measure one's self-esteem by these things. They are required in life for certain reason, but they can't measure me. I am much greater than any of these things. If I have it also, and if I don't have it also. This humility one must have. I am not great because of anything else. My nature actually is immeasurable truth. That is what truly makes us great. And that is the same in all. Then there is no question of ego, because that is the same truth in everybody. But if I don't see that, then I will identify with the limited, and then my mamata will be in that kid. This is me. This body is me. This qualities are mine. This bank balance is mine. Now I am measuring myself based on the known, forgetting who the knower is. Then that pride comes. I came into this city with only 1 rupee. Today I am a multi-billionaire. My friend came with me. Where is he and where am I? Now comparison, pride, ego, superiority complex, all that will come. The first quality for gaining knowledge is humility. And humility comes, we will see how it comes, but humility is the most important factor to gain any knowledge. Not only spiritual knowledge so definitely, even the worldly knowledge, I need humility. If my attitude is, I know it all, what is there to learn? कौन क्या नया बताया इन्होंने? મને બધું આવડે છે. That MBA. At one stage in teenagers' life, sometimes it will be like that. Not only teenagers, anybody's life it can happen. And says, why tell me? I know. Mom, don't tell me, I know. Chill. Our Guruji says one joke, So one father told the son, son, come, let's talk about life. The son said, yes, Dad, tell me, what do you want to know? Usko sab gyan hai. His father thought he will give gyan to him. This fellow is saying, okay, what do you want to know? Tell me, I'll tell you. But we are laughing here, no doubt, but I have seen in institutions, especially I don't want to generalize it or brand or, make a stereotype statement, but a lot of prestigious institutions, when I have been there to speak, their body language one knows very clearly. They are like, what will you teach us? Why are you even here? They'll question your existence only. What the hell? Why are you standing here? You are a loser in life. You have taken this path. We have struggled hard and we have got into this place. What will you teach us? Will that be any relevance to us? Like that attitude will be there literally. In their body language you can see, in their eyes you can see, in the face, everything. And you try hard to reach this knowledge to them. Block, solid block. Again I am saying, I don't want to generalize for everybody, but I have seen enough and more. Not only against orange or people like us, even some of the professors and their faculties. What attitude, my God! अरे कोई तुम कितना भी competitive exam में pass करके, we understand the competition and you have cleared it and you are brilliant and all that. But basic virtue is humility. Nothing will happen without that. But नहीं, वो दिमाग में घुसा हुआ है कि इतने लाखों लोगों में से I am the chosen one. I have come here. Chosen one मतलब not somebody is chosen. By my effort I have come here. Oh ho ho. One real life incident I'll tell you. I won't tell you the bank and all that. In one bank it was. One of our Chinmay Mission members, working in a nice, top position somewhere. She told me that Swamiji, today one of the biggest challenges we have in our workplace is that the younger generation who is coming in with a solid attitude based on their qualification, and when they find out that their senior is less qualified than them, they stop respecting them. So she told me that this particular department, this person who is heading that department is only a BCom graduate. But that person has 20 years of experience. And this fresher who has come in is an MBA from an IIM. Big ego he has. Will not listen. So 2 issues he had there. One is that this lady is her boss. So there's male-female ego आ गया उसके अंदर. Second, इसको BCom ही है, मेरा MBA है, वो भी IIM अहमदाबाद से है. खत्म बात. She said, Swamiji, I am having such difficulty because the basic things he is not willing to listen. Terrible. Amanitvam, the first quality to work. And now you see, before even I go into the spiritual dimension, see this. X factor of great leadership is not personality, it is humility. Who is saying this? Jim Collins. 1000 साल पहले जो गीता में लिखा है, अगर हम जाके कहीं पे बात करेंगे ना, वो सुनने को तैयार नहीं है. बोले ये दिस आर एज ओल्ड वैल्यूज, 5000 साल पहले बोला था, कौन पढ़ने वाला है इसको? जिम कॉलिन्स सेड X factor of leadership is humility. वो आएगा अभी. So this is a nice analogy our Gurudev used to give, that a tree that wants to touch the sky must extend its roots into the earth. The more it wants to rise upwards, the more it has to grow downwards. To rise in life, we must be down to earth, humble and grateful. ये सब लोग बोलते हैं, but बहुत कम लोग इसको implement भी करेंगे. Because deep down somewhere the feeling is, if I am humble, I will be taken for a ride. If I am humble, people will exploit me. Because they have confused humility with dumbness. They have confused humility with weakness. A humble person is a strong person actually. An egoistic person is really a weak person, because little, to hurt that person, you have to just do thoda sa, finish, that fellow will be gone. उसको एक छोटा सा nasty comment बोल दो, खत्म, ऐसा ऐसा disturb हो जाएगा वो. The difference between Yudhishthir and Duryodhana is that. Literally, that is the difference. The word Yudhishthir literally means Yudhisthiraha. Even in the most provocative situation, this man will be balanced. Why? Because his anchoring is dharma, not ego. Humility, one point of humility is dharma. If I am a dharmic person, I will be humble automatically. Because my ego is not more important. Values, dharma, shastra, Guru, Ishvara, they are my altar of surrender. If I have an altar of surrender in my life, I will be humble. Basic point of humility is only that much. One must ask oneself, what is my altar of surrender? If I don't have altar of surrender, and I think I am humble, that's only an illusion. That altar of surrender could be parents, it could be family, it could be country, it could be culture, it could be my profession, whatever it may be, where that is greater than I. This is our culture, which says you find your altar of surrender the fastest in your life. What is your altar of surrender? Where I forget myself, then humility will come automatically. You see great people, na? In any field if you see, a lot of greatness comes because of humility only. Because they will put their ego aside, then the infinite will manifest through them. And all art is meant for that. The whole effort is meant to put that ego aside. So, humility. Humility does not mean you think less of yourself, it means you think of yourself less. That is a simple point. People think that humility means to think less of oneself. That's why they feel it's a weakness. But you think of yourself less, Meaning you think of the larger purpose. What is your altar? Who is your altar of surrender? What are you here for? Draw people by your humility and honor, not by your position and power. Simple sentences these are, but very powerful. In the daily life, we try to impress people with what? Position and power. They may be required at a certain time for certain work, no doubt. But it's a tool. If humility is not there in that position and power, gone. Person will misuse it. They will also fall, make others also fall. So this is what Jim Collins calls as this level 5 leadership. From good to great. In that he will say, humility plus will, the blend of personal humility and intense professional will is the characteristic of a great leader. So if you want to move from good leader to a great leader, what should you have? Humility plus will. This is that. Level 4 leader क्या करता है? First what, then who. They decide on direction and then get people to implement their vision. Level 5 leader क्या करेगा? First who, then what. They seek the input of a team of smart associates and use that input. They get the best who into a room and together decide the best what. This will require humility. Otherwise one will say, I know it all, I have decided now, you implement. Don't ask questions. Don't give your opinion. That is level 4. Level 5 will be ask. What do you think about it? What is your idea? What is your opinion? And it's not that you are bound to take everything, but involve them in the decision making. And this openness is there, na, ki somebody can give an opinion which can be very good for achieving this particular thing. हम थोड़ी सर्वज्ञ हैं. One person came to meet Gurudev in Karnataka. His name is Bahuguna. So he came, he prostrated. Gurudev was reading newspaper. Okay, so he came, he prostrated, and he said, Swamiji, I am Bahuguna. Immediate Gurudev's wit is so fast. He moved his paper and said, I am Sarvaguna. Sarvaguna I am. Not that he had an ego, oh, if you are Bahuguna, I am Sarvaguna. Not like that. But that was his quick wit and his humor like that. And Gurudev would also conduct meetings and he will ask people, so what do you think about this, and take opinions and all that. No, at no point one should think that I know it all. I don't need anybody's input. I have been in this field for so many years. Bhagwan Ram asks everybody. See that dharma samsthapana when we say, na, Bhagwan Ram asks every important person in the monkey's army, Vanara's army, about Vibhishanji's surrender. He asks Sugriv, he asks Jambavan, he asks Nal, Neel, Angad, everybody, should we accept him or not? Should we accept him or not? And everybody is giving their opinion and they all say no, no, no for their own reasons. Then he finally asks Hanumanji. And Hanumanji said, we should accept. And Bhagwan Ram doesn't base his decision on the majority, though their logic and reasoning is sound. But he bases the decision on Hanumanji. Why? Because Hanumanji has been there and he has seen Vibhishanji. So he is talking from experience. Others are talking from their thinking, assumptions. So he asks, he didn't say कि मुझे पता है, ये भक्त है मेरा. And he has come to surrender. And my, what you call that? Prana, vow is anybody who comes to surrender to me, I give them protection. So I don't need to take anybody's opinion. He didn't do that. If you see so many of our avatars and their stories, they will involve. So that is level 5 leader. Level 4, they may be effective when it is not difficult to decide what to do, but they struggle in more complex businesses. Here, they have ambition not for themselves but for their organization. In that their growth also will happen. It's not that they will not grow. Then, the world is too complex for any one person to be confident of what direction to pursue. Here, they look in the mirror to assign responsibility, never blaming others or external factors if things go wrong. First they take charge and find out where did I go wrong, what wrong mistake did I do. They are humble and look out the window to give credit rather than to take it for themselves. These are all simple qualities of humility, and Hanumanji is one of the greatest examples of what we call as servant-based leadership. He lived as a sevak of Bhagavan Ram, has all great powers. What he has done is impossible for anybody to do. How many times he went and brought Sanjeevani mountain, and then he crossed the ocean also and found out Sita ji and burned the Lanka, killed Ahiravan, Mahiravan, so many things he did. Impossible for any normal person to do. But always what does he feel? I am servant of Bhagavan. Very nice quote of Martin Luther King. He says, humility is the willingness to hold power in service of. Now how many people will even think that much? They want power for themselves only. So much of corruption and so many ego clashes and so many things which should be done for years and years that has not happened, and we feel that by now this should have happened. It still doesn't happen. Why? Because one is not using the power in service of others. Somewhere some vested interest is there to serve one's own power or one's own organization's power. But if we really use power, Krishna Bhagavan is another example of that humility. Everyone sleeps in the night after the war is over. Bhagavan is doing what? Removing the arrows, applying the medicine, massaging the feet of these horses. Lord of the universe is doing such an ordinary job. Doesn't even feel, how dare you make me a charioteer. Arjun says, you be my charioteer. He says, okay, I will be your charioteer. That is humility. I'll end with this. This is a very nice equation. Ego is equal to 1 by knowledge. Which means what? The more knowledge I have, the lesser will be my ego. Which in our Subhashita it is said, Vidya dadati vinayam. If I have knowledge, I should be more humble. And that knowledge which doesn't make me humble, then is not true knowledge. It is only some information that is bloating my head. So the more the knowledge, the lesser the ego. Lesser the knowledge, more is the ego. That's why they say empty vessels make more noise. If it is full, no noise at all. So this first quality is what we have done. Amanitvam. How does one become humble? These are so many ways. We are a part of the creation, not the boss of the creation. If we see from the Dvaita standpoint, we are one small part in this creation. If you see the whole one Srishti itself is in one pore of Bhagavan Vishnu. One entire Srishti. This is Ananta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka when we say. There is only one Brahmanda. In that, where is our house? And where are we? One Jiva. We won't even be. A whole map mein, the whole city of Mumbai will be one dot. अब उसमें है मैं कहाँ पर हूँ मेरा क्या है zoom 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 zoom. It's one small little part. Worship and reverence for all that contributes to us will bring humility. For every single thing that we do, entire creation is working for us. If the creation is not what it is, we won't be alive only. So what kind of ego one will have to say that, oh, I am so great by myself. I don't need anybody. So knowledge is more important than riches or power. If one understands this, and especially which knowledge? This knowledge which will make me humble, the knowledge of the truth. All functions in our culture begin with an invocation. Why? When we say Sahanavavatu, etc., we are invoking the infinite to put aside our ego. Humble people are valued the most in our culture. Why is a sadhu or a sannyasi welcome with a Purna Kumbha? Because that represents the state of egolessness. Sannyas is given the highest honor. Why? Because the egoless state. Even a great king will leave his kingdom. If you see Bhagavatam and so many of our other scriptures, the kings leave their kingdom, renounce, and then finally realize the truth. So this culture has not worshipped power in that sense. It has used power at a certain stage, but it has known that beyond power, material power, is the spiritual truth, which is egolessness. We prostrate to the elders. A simple point in our scripture is what? You bow down to the feet of elders. And Gurudev always used to say, you don't judge whether this person deserves or not. You bow down because there is that age factor is there. Whatever you may say, age, values, anything. Gurudev always used to say, if somebody is a sannyasi or any other elder person there, so he would give that example, that you are not bowing down to the cloth, to that person alone, you are bowing down to that institution which that person represents. So even if that person is not living up to certain values, you respect the tradition of sannyas, then you will bow down. So he would always say that, don't think you are bowing down to the person. Then you will start judging whether this person is worthy, not worthy, all that. We may need to know for different reasons, but as a discipline, he would say this. This is the video I will start in my next class with, about bowing down, etc. It is a nice video, but it is a little long, so we will take up in our next class. For today, we will stop here. So we thank all our Yajmans for all the sessions, the Mukhya Yajmans, Tarana ji, Parag Wag, Vandana ji, Bharat Khanna ji, Kalpana Morparia ji and Deepika Bakshi ji. Gita Arti Yajman for all sessions, Hemant ji, Jyotsna ji, Chitra ji, Ajay Kasotia ji, Rajan ji, Ajay Merchant ji, Swati Chavan, Nalini ji, Jayashri ji, Nandita ji, Vaishali ji, Vijaya ji, Dipti ji and Manjari ji. Dainik Yajman for today, Mala Malkani ji, Madhuri Bhatia ji, and the Aarti Yajmans for today, Nirupa Srinivasan ji and Geeta Mirchandani ji. So we invoke Bhagwan's grace, Gurudev's blessings on all the Yajmans, their families, and everyone present here. May Bhagwan bless us with the knowledge of the known and the knower, and also bless us with the 20 values to prepare ourselves and to realize the knower as the self. Om Tat Sat. Let's do the Arati. Aiye. You have a question or something? So please come, you can do the Arati. Cherish, you can also come and do.
जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरिय कमल विदारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनी कामाशक्तिहरा तत्व ज्ञान विकाशिनी विद्या ब्रह्म परा। ओम जय भगवद गीते। निश्चल भक्ति विदायिनी निर्मल मलहारी शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी सब विधि सुखकारी। ओम जय भगवद गीते। राग द्वेष विदारिणी कारिणी मोद सदा भव भयहारिणी तारिणी परमानंद प्रदा। ओम जय भगवद गीते। आसुर भाव विनाशिनी नाशिनी तम रजनी दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी हरि रसिका सजनी। ओम जय भगवद गीते। समता त्याग सिखावनी हरि मुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी। ओम जय भगवद गीते। दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरिपद प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजे। ओम जय भगवद गीते। ओम जय भगवद गीते। बोलिए। नत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वविदं विभाति। श्री मैया की जय। भगवान की जय। नाथ महाराज की जय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।